The Ferrari engine has been an accident waiting to happen this season. Carlos Sainz was the most recent driver to suffer from a breakdown at the Austrian Grand Prix. He had to sprint from his F1 75 as it set on fire underneath him. This was meant to be Ferrari's season to get back to the top of Formula 1 and win a championship, but reliability is costing them big time. So what has gone wrong for Ferrari, and how is it affecting the rest of the grid? Ferrari suspect the engine failure which put Carlos Sainz Jr. out of Sunday's Austrian Grand Prix was a repeat of a problem which caused another retirement 3 races earlier in Azerbaijan. Charles Leclerc dropped out of last month's Azerbaijan Grand Prix while leading due to an engine failure. In Austria, Sainz's car came to a stop with 15 laps to go with an engine problem which quickly turned into a major fire. Ferrari principal Matteo Binotto explained the internal combustion engine has been responsible for 2 of the 3 race-ending power unit failures the team has experienced this year. "I think we've got only 2 engine failures so far," he said. "Obviously, power unit failures more than 2, but in terms of internal combustion engine, 2. Binotto said the initial indication is Sainz's failure shared the same cause as Leclerc's previous one. "Obviously, we need to look at what happened today. Is it the same we had already as the one in Baku with Charles? Very likely. It's certainly a concern. But the people back in Maranello are working very hard to try to fix them, which is not solved yet. And obviously, looking at what happened to Carlos, it has not been solved yet. So, what is it that might be going wrong with the engine? What is it the team in Maranello are actually trying to solve?" It turns out the problem in Austria and Baku weren't quite the same, but the Baku retirement was a knock-on of Leclerc's retirement in Barcelona. In Barcelona, Charles Leclerc had to stop on the side of the track when his car gave up with an overheating turbo and MGU-H. Then in Baku, Ferrari found that his engine had collected some debris within the ICE from the turbo that broke in Barcelona, which caused his pistons to not work. Sainz's retirement in Austria was caused by the exact same thing as Leclerc's retirement in Barcelona. Each time there's been a temperature problem with the turbo and MGU-H. It is thought that this happens because the exhaust on the turbo powers the dynamo of the MGU-H in the Ferrari engine. This means the MGU-H charges quicker, but also puts some added strain onto the turbo. Because of how the two interact, they produce a lot of stress and consequently become very hot very quickly. This interaction between the two is part of the reason why the Ferrari engine is so good, but when you push that engine too hard, both parts get too hot and the engine fails. Unfortunately, it isn't simply solved by running the engine at a lower setting. The MGU-H and turbo interaction is central to how the Ferrari engine is managed, as so decreasing the activity in either would have a huge knock-on effect on the engine power. It isn't just Ferrari that are being affected by this problem though, it's their customers as well. Valtteri Bottas took an engine penalty in Australia and started from the pit lane. Zhou Guanyu retired during the formation lap as well when his engine shut off, though that is likely caused by something different. When Zhou next changes his engine though, he will suffer a grid penalty as well. They have used the maximum amount of internal combustion engines, turbos and MGU-H and K allowed. Ferrari are working tirelessly at their factory in Maranello to try and solve the problem though, and will be bringing upgrades to the engine after the summer break. They're aiming to upgrade the hybrid element of the engine in either Spa or Monza, which will hopefully fix the reliability problems and help produce more energy per lap. With the engines being homologulated until 2026 this season, Ferrari decided to prioritize power over reliability when designing their engine for this season. The only engine upgrades allowed once the engines are completely homologulated will be the reliability ones. "We pushed hard on performance, knowing that the power units would be frozen until 2026. I'm confident also thinking about the next season," said Matteo Binotto. Ferrari might be confident that they can get their engine working for future seasons, but that isn't really helping them, Haas or Alfa Romeo this season. Red Bull might run away with the championship this year because of Mattia's gamble, and Ferrari fans will want answers as to why. Do you think Ferrari can get on top of their reliability problems and come back this season? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And while you're down there, please subscribe to F101 and I'll see you in the next video.